Mathematics entertaining truth history. Yeah. We in the meth lab. Got your host, Big Twin. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to everybody who likes, comments, and shares. In today's hip-hop news, we're going to talk about Benny the Butcher. Benny the Butcher had an interview with Ebro in the morning, and he had these words to say. Hey.
Society or the fans or supporters, they glorify rappers too much. I am not Dr. Martin Luther King. I am not Malcolm X. I'm nobody like that. I'm not like a revolutionist or one of them type of dudes. Mm-hmm. I'm a rapper. I'm a guy out the hood who made it. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not a role model. I'm an example.
None of us could never be just like Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, based on the impact that they had on society. But I don't want to be like Scarface either. I don't want to be like Pablo Escobar either. These dudes, they got took off the count for how they was living. See, the hood, the streets is so embedded in us to the point where we could never get rid of that blood that runs through our veins. You know what I mean? That's always going to run through us. It don't matter where we go. You know what I'm saying? We could move out to Iowa. We could move out to Canada somewhere, a nice part of Canada somewhere. We always gonna have that in us. You know what I mean? And y'all from the streets, y'all understand what I'm saying. You know, Benny kept it official. You know what I'm saying? He kept it official and all that. You know, there's rappers that know better too. They know better. But by them switching their style up and talking about more educational things, they'll lose their credit. They'll lose their fan base. They'll watch their funds decrease. So they're going to stick to what they know. Even though they obtain the knowledge to know more and to give y'all a whole different perspective or different knowledge. They're not going to change. You know what I'm saying? They want to continue living how they live. It's almost like I said on an earlier video that I made when I first started this page. I was learning a lot of the conscious community knowledge. I was learning about Egypt. I was learning about government. I was learning about politics. I was also learning about the chakras, health, everything, all these different things, these new things that I was learning. But at the same time, I was still in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So I was reading these different books. A lot of these books that get mentioned, Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James, The Iceman Inheritance. I could go on and on. A lot of different books. I was actually reading those. And at the same time, I was in the streets. But the thing is, I was at the point where I would never leave the streets in order to commit fully to the knowledge in them books, because the streets is making me money. The streets was paying the rent. The streets was feeding me. The streets was clothing me. So I would never leave the streets for that type of knowledge, And, in an earlier video, I also said that's part of the reason why I left the conscious community, because I seen it doing something for me spiritually, but I needed it to help me financially. And I didn't want to end up like a lot of the dudes that you see, some of these dudes you see on YouTube and you see on the social media, that they're part of the conscious community, but they also have a tough hustle. Let me see how I can break this down. The stuff they're trying to sell you, like, it's not things that sell. You understand? These are not things that sell. These, I had stuff that sells itself. You understand what I'm saying? So I wasn't leaving that to be poor and become like a conscious hustler. You know what I'm saying? But we can't forget. We can't tend to forget that Malcolm X was in the mud, and he came up out the mud and became a bigger figure on this planet than he could ever be being in the mud. And I'm gonna leave y'all with that. This is the M.E.T.H Lab. Salute. Mathematics entertaining truth history.